Let's now shift our focus to the Vatican's secret deal with China. You heard that right. Reports say that the Vatican is set to renew a controversial agreement with China. And this, by the way, is despite concerns from senior Catholics and campaigners that it will force the Church to remain silent on human rights abuses. But what is this pact all about? We can't say for sure. The terms of the agreement are secret. What we hear is it allows the Chinese government influence over the selection of bishops in the country. First introduced in 2018, the pact has been extended for a third time. Last week, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the highest-ranking Vatican official after Pope Francis, made the announcement. The deal is being seen as an attempt to ease a long-standing divide across mainland China between an underground flock loyal to the Pope and a state-backed official church. For the first time since the 1950s, both sides recognize the Pope as the supreme leader of the Catholic Church. Following the renewal of this landmark accord between the Vatican and China, Pope Francis appointed Giuseppe Yang Yongqiang as Bishop of Hangzhou, the capital of China's eastern province of Zhejiang. And making the appointment, the Vatican said on Saturday that it strives to strengthen ties with Beijing. But the pact between a communist China and the Vatican is being seen by critics as a compromise. Conservative Catholics view the deal, in fact, as a sellout to communist China. Meanwhile, critics are saying that the Church has not done enough to address democracy fears in China. They say it undermines the Vatican's credibility as a champion of the oppressed. Of course, the Vatican has defended the deal with China as quote-unquote imperfect means. The Vatican says it will lead to some form of dialogue with the authorities for the good of all Chinese Catholics, while the Pope sees the deal as a way of holding the Chinese Church together. Critics do not agree. They say that it will in fact stifle it in the process. How? By compromising on religious freedom. Remember, the Vatican has been criticized to take a stance on human rights abuses and the erosion of democracy in Hong Kong. Then there is also the question of freedom for all bishops, including those who are being ostracized or put under house arrest by the communist regime in China. So given all of this criticism, how does the pact with China help the Vatican? Massively. Apparently, according to an analysis published by the Catholic news agency Asia News, the Vatican has been struggling for influence. Their 5-year plan for the sanitization of Catholicism in China was published on Christmas Day on the website of the Chinese Catholic Church. The plan basically mentions the Chinese leader Xi Jinping at least 4 times. It says that Catholicism must take on Chinese characteristics at least 5 times. And lastly, the word sanitization is mentioned 53 times. You see what we are getting at? Apart from seeking influence in the modern times, the Vatican hopes to avoid a divide within China's estimated 12 million Catholics. It hopes to basically avoid a divide between a patriotic church loyal to the communist regime and an underground church faithful to Rome. The Vatican is reportedly keen on re-establishing diplomatic relations, which were interrupted in the year 1951 when the church was expelled from China by the communist government. Experts say the Vatican is hopeful that by allowing the Chinese government the power to choose bishops, they protect the Catholics inside China, but the situation has only gotten worse. Rights activists saying that by renewing the pact for a third time, the Vatican risks rewarding China for the repression. They say that the Vatican has ignored the pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong, a lot of whom are Catholics. The intention may be good, but is it enough? That seems to be the overwhelming response to this secretive pact between China and the Vatican. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.